Hello, welcome back to the channel. This entire episode of Dino Fury episode 7. Oh boy! Oh boy, was it different to me. Okay, so if you like this sort of content and you want to see more, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as that cheeky notification bell to be notified when more videos drop. And let's kind of talk about the episode. This is episode 7 called Stego Search, and this is all about Javi getting his Zord, and they're finding it. And in this episode, he gets a keytar. Now, for me personally, I would have loved to have seen this at the very end. Like, you know, he said that he wants it all the time, and he really wants all of it, and like he wants to afford it. I don't know why I kept saying that, but I generally kind of thought that he would get it at the end of the season and be like, yeah, finally I've got it. And that could have been like the way forward, but he buys this. So this entire episode's about the Rangers trying to find the Stegosaurus for Javi. They've looked everywhere and they can't find the Zord at all. Like the energy signatures for everywhere else can do. This is where Javi buys the keytar and he starts playing towards everyone. And I think it's the only time that I've really cringed, like literally, like oh. And I think it's just because when you got Jane and J-Borg, they kind of join in. They love to sing and dance, and they love to sing. And we find out that J-Borg can sing. Now, rather than the whole, rather than the whole singing with the beat, which would have been a lot better. You know, Javi's playing his own song. You know, he's playing an okay song at least. And you know, J-Borg doesn't sing. Like she starts quoting opera, and I was just kind of going, I understand that you want to make people laugh, but at least maybe sing something in beat with what the music is, because it just sounds like a complete mess. And I mean a complete mess. Jane then starts rapping, and I'm like, just at first, like she matches everything perfectly. Like she gets it, and I'm like, okay, I can kind of understand that. But then it just changes completely, and I'm just like, okay, cool, but it didn't fit with the scene in my eyes. Like it just felt completely, it took me out the story, and that's fine if everyone else liked it, but to me it just didn't feel right. There are two instances in this episode that actually got me angry to the point where, you know, we're going to get a redemption. We're not going to get the, I'm sorry that I didn't listen to you, Javi. I'm your father and I will love you always, and I should have supported you. And I thought that it was coming in this episode. So Javi's dad turns around and just takes the keytar off him. It says, like, you shouldn't be, like, spending your money. Now, I can understand the importance of saving, but, you know, it's like Javi literally turns around and he's playing multiple instruments and learning, and that's growing. You know, if it's not something for him, then he'll move on. But I feel like he would sell the instruments on or donate them to a worthy cause. But to me, it just really felt like, you know, his dad was a massive dick to him. And it really kind of got me angry to the point was, like, I just don't like that in a character. I can understand the sternness at times, but it just felt like his dad just doesn't care about him and likes Izzy a bit more. And that will come up later on. So rather than like explaining, he just literally takes the keytar away from Javi, and I'm like, what the fuck? That's not your property. Like, how would you like it if he came in and said, well, I don't think that you should be collecting whatever or buying stuff, and just taking it away? You know, it'd be a different story that way. But I feel like Javi just really got dicked over, and like his dad was just really mean, and that's what I don't like in this. It makes me hate this character, and I know you're not really meant to like feel that emotion, but I really don't like the dad. I don't want the dad to appear anymore in Dino Fury. I just think that, you know, it's and like he says something as well. He goes, oh, like, everyone get away from here, stop making the noise because the birds are you know, are nesting. And I generally thought, well, if that's the case, close down the goddamn fucking park. See, it's getting me angry. It's getting me really angry because I can't believe Power Rangers has got me really super angry, but it just felt like he doesn't like anything. Everything has to be strict, and I really hate it. I don't want to go on a rant, but I really, really don't like his dad. I just think his dad is a complete waste of space. Oh, it annoys me. For this entire episode, Javi is not going to turn around and tell the Rangers anything, his friends, like what's kind of doing, like getting on his nerves and what's caused him to feel like this. And this kind of makes him teleport into the base, then teleport out, and then obviously Izzy follows him. Now, Boomtower, here he is pretty much, he's bored. It feels like he doesn't want to wait for Void Knight. He wants to destroy things, so he steals a Sporax soul, basically, and uses it to kind of power up. And you kind of think, I know this is part of the entire whole Sentai footage that they use, but it feels very much like Boomtower isn't going to wait around for a lot longer. I think that he's going to maybe stop like being with Void Knight and go on his own or something. And I was like, okay, that's absolutely fine. I'm just moving the head thing. Just come off the back of my chair. It's fine. Don't worry. So yeah, it just felt like Boomtower just couldn't be bothered. And we noticed that they're way off from where they are, because in the container, you see where the light is. And most people think, oh, it may stop when it reaches the top, but it's nowhere near filled. Like, it's really quite high up. So I feel like this is going to be a thing where very soon the bad guys are going to steal the Sporax and power it up. So I feel like you're going to start seeing this a bit more, or kind of off key, off location, that Void Knight has defeated the Rangers multiple times and, you know, has gained these Sporax beasts, and he's got more and more. And boom, when we hit the end of the series, season 1, I think that's where you're going to see quite a bit of like, oh crap, we're all fine on it. We get some fighting with Izzy and Javi, as in when they morph. I really like the morphing sequence a lot. And they go against Boomtower, and basically they get absolutely trashed. We get a lot more Sentai footage than we normally see. Normally, that's the thing. So I generally like that. I thought it was a very nice mixture, even though the scenery is a tad bit different. But Boomtower absolutely wails on the Rangers, which causes then Izzy to be kind of hurt really badly. So I'm guessing that they took her out because, you know, the rest of the footage is all about the Black Ranger and Javi and stuff like that. So I generally liked it. I love the fact that the Rangers got beat so often. So like early on as well, it wasn't something like, you know, later on down the line, like this monster is way too powerful and stuff like that. So I generally kind of thought this was absolutely amazing. This made the kind of story a bit more believable in my eyes, and I really liked what they did with it. I love the fact that Rangers get beaten, and it just shows that they're not always winning. So for this episode to be written like this and then say, hey, you know, the Rangers getting beaten, the Rangers aren't going to win this like doing a cakewalk, I think this is a really good thing that they're putting into the series. This is when we get Javier's and Izzy's dad again, and he's just a massive dick. Like, the one thing is, like, Javi explains that a monster attacked the Black Ranger, saved him, and then Javi's dad just literally turns around and goes, why didn't you save her? You know, what you did caused her to get hurt. And I can understand, like, the part, like, Javi's not hurt, Izzy is. But when his dad says, like, you came out fine, I generally was thinking, what a shit dad. Like, out of everything, like, they'd be like, I'm glad that you're okay, rather than your sister got hurt, go fuck yourself. And I'm just like, the writing's fine, because now you're hating it, and, you know, maybe he has a redemption later, but for that sort of kind of coldness and venom coming from a father, you kind of think, oh crap. Like, I wanted Javier to really, like, have a go at him and say, like, how dare you, like, you don't even think of me, and like, you didn't even ask if I was okay. I'm just like, I don't like the father. I think the father is just a dick. Rangers now figure out that music, after they've watched a clip of Javi playing the guitar, and then pointing out where the time is, so that the Zord can, like, the Stego Zord can come out. That's what you see next. And then, yeah, we've got the location all of a sudden. Like, you think with all this futuristic tech, you think you'd be able to find the Zord a lot quicker, but at the end of the day, they found what they found. Boomtower has now grown, and he is ready to fight the Rangers, and they call the Megazord, but they get beaten a bit. And I love the fact that when Boomtower calls his, like, orbs, it's actually just like Sonic the Hedgehog 2 balls, like literally when you're in the special zone, or is it? No, it's Sonic 3 when you're running across to get the blue orbs. It always reminds me of it. Javi finds his Zord, they actually bring it in, they combine, they make a Megazord, they finish him off. I like it, I loved it when they were like, oh, let's go get this spiky boy. And I was just like, oh, let's use this spiky boy. I just loved it. I thought it was a bit of humor in it. Everyone is kind of happy. They give Javi a guitar of his own, so therefore he can continue playing the music. Everyone starts dancing. And one thing that, again, I know it's not my sort of comedy. I know it's not in for me. But everyone starts dancing, and J-Borg decides to spin round. Like, she can't dance, but all of a sudden, like, she can spin like the Tasmanian devil, and then kind of drill into the ground. And, you know, they all start making, like, jokes, and she was like, oh, I think I cut up through a water main. And I'm like, oh, okay, I know what's coming up. And they're like, oh, silly jokes. And then water literally busts out. And I generally kind of thought, like, everyone just starts laughing, like, silly J-Borg down and going into the ground, and water just coming out of the ground. Oh, don't worry. It's like, literally, that's going to flood your entire thing. I'd be pissed, or be like, call someone to shut the mains off, be like, I don't care about this whatsoever. And I'm like, oh god, just call the city. And yeah, I think it's just, this episode did not really gel with me or whatever. I couldn't get into this one, and this is one of my least favorite episodes. It just felt, I could see where they were going, but the whole thing to me was just, no, I don't think I could I don't think I could watch this episode again. It was that bad. Episode not the best. Some of the stuff I kind of liked. One thing I didn't understand though is that when Void Knight comes in and tells Boom Tower, "Hey, guess what? Like, you know, you stole from me." There was no punishment. Like, I generally thought that he would literally say, "I want that Sporex from you now," and like cause him to depower or something. But it was just like, oh, Master Void Knight turned around and said, I can keep this. And I'm like, come on. Just like, there was no punishment. You know, I generally thought Boom Tower was going to be destroyed, because it did kind of lead into that, where he's like, oh, you think that's going to beat me? Oh, wait, it did. And he blows up. I'm thinking, oh, that's the end of Boom Tower. But I feel like Boom Tower is going to be in this for a long time, and he's going to be the ground support rather than growing up, which is absolutely fine. So be interesting to see how they did that, because I think Boom Tower disappears very early on in Rear Soldier. So yeah, that's it. This episode, okay, just felt like there was a lot of stuff that they could have done, but we'll see on that one. Anyway, I am going to leave it there. What are your thoughts on this episode? Did you like it? Did you not? Let me know down below in the comments. If you like this sort of content and you want to see more, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, as well as that cheeky notification bell to be notified when more videos drop. Yeah, and do you think that this was the most cringiest episode? Because I really do. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.
チャンネルをサポートしてくれてありがとうございます。チャンネル登録、高評価お願いします。